Frank Omo at James Beal's house with CNN Student News. Today our top story is sports, and since I didn't do any research, I'm going to read from this computer the story my editors handed me. At the University of North Carolina, an unsettling discovery has been made. Mary Willingham, a woman who works at UNC to prepare student athletes for academic work required at the Chapel Hill campus, realized many of these athletes weren't even prepared for the 6th grade. After realizing many of the students she came across couldn't read or write, she now has sought out to make others aware of this troubling problem as well as put an end to it. UNC is not the only college that has had incidents like this. Public universities across the country have admitted that students in top basketball and football divisions can barely read up to an 8th grade reading level. Willingham researched the reading levels of 183 UNC Chapel Hill athletes who played football or basketball from 2004 to 2012. She found that 60% read between 4th and 8th grade reading levels. Between 8 and 10% read below a 3rd grade level. After gathering information from many sources, it was found that the threshold for being college literate is a score of 1400 on the SAT critical reading or writing test. On the ACT, that threshold is 16. Most of the student athletes scored in the 200s and 300s on the SAT critical reading test. Some experts say that this measures an elementary reading level and too low for college classes. Because the huge and winning schools that are part of the NCAA are huge moneymakers, this kind of scandal is sometimes excused and swept under the rug. With millions of dollars at stake, certain schools will take all measures possible to ensure that their athletes stay on the field. Wow, who wrote this? This is ridiculous. Anyway, aside from that, more on sports. Here's James Beal with sports.
Hi all, this is James Beal coming to you with a sports update. This weekend the sports world erupted when Richard Sherman gave his post-game speech. Here's the speech in case you missed it.
Let me ask you the final play. Take me through it.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who is talking about you?
Crabtree, don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm going to set it for you real quick. LOB.
All right, before... And Joe...
After his post-game interview on the field, Richard Sherman was called classless. He was called a thug. He was called just about everything he could have been called. But let's talk about who Richard Sherman is for a moment. Here's a guy who grew up in Compton. He was faced with violence and drugs every day. He kept his head up though and attended Stanford and played under Jim Harbaugh. Then as a redshirt senior, he began his master's instead of just taking an elective class, which others might do. And then he slipped in the 2011 draft, and he kept slipping. Sherman was taken in the 5th round by the Seattle Seahawks. But he fit the system well, and he has become one of the best, if not the best, cornerbacks in the league. Not because he's athletic, not because he's been given great ability, but because he works his butt off. Yes, Sherman talks. Just about everyone in the league talks, whether most fans noticed it or not. Sherman just happens to be unabashed about his trash talk. He's not cursing on television or dropping dirty language, but he's talking. But on the field and off the field, he backs it up with tremendous plays or for his charity work for the less fortunate inner city kids. But now let's talk about a more local event. On October 12th, the Seaside Heights Boardwalk burned to the ground, just under a year after Superstorm Sandy, which devastated the area. It has gone to ruins again. The source of the fire appeared to be an ice cream shop, and it went on to burn down more than 24 other businesses. It also destroyed the Funtown Pier, an area that had been rebuilt just after Superstorm Sandy. In the words of Chris Christie, I feel like I want to throw up. Now New Jersey looks to rebuild again from another traumatic event. Back to you, Frank.
Oh God, we're on? Oh, my bad. Anyway, here's Amanda with New Jersey and sports. Weather.
Chris Christie has proposed that New Jersey school days and school years should be lengthened in grades K through 12 so that kids have extra time to excel or catch up to others and also to make us more competitive. Other states have already started lengthening their school hours. There are mixed opinions on this from parents and teachers with questions like how it will be paid for. Right now we are experiencing a polar vortex. This is when cold air that's usually in the polar regions travels south, causing freezing temperatures in other states. Here in New Jersey it is currently negative 20 degrees. Back to you, Frank.
Frank, we're on.
What? Oh God. Here's Jules with stuff about the world.
Edward Snowden was an American computer specialist for the NSA. He disclosed top-secret NSA documents to several media outlets, which started the NSA leaks, which said that NSA was spying on U.S. allies and also other people in the U.S. He first left Hawaii and ended up in Hong Kong seeking asylum in Iceland. He then traveled to Russia and was granted a one-year temporary asylum by the Russian government. He has caused a lot of turmoil in the U.S. and other countries involving the NSA surveillance of people's phone calls and their emails. The reason he said that he leaked these information is because he did not want to live in a society that recorded citizens where everything done or said is recorded. He wanted to give the society a chance to decide if it should change and wants the public to have a say in how they are governed. Snowden is being charged of theft of government property in violation of the Espionage Act through unauthorized communication of nation defense information to an unauthorized person. On November 8, 2013, a Category 5 Typhoon Haiyan smashed into the Philippines. This was the deadliest typhoon since Typhoon Thelma in 1991. Wind speeds were recorded up to 170 miles per hour and sea levels were up to 20 feet. The width of the typhoon was 370 miles long. 800,000 people were evacuated before the storm hit, but more than 5,000 people were killed and many more are still missing. Among the dead, 2 Americans were found. In the city of Tacloban, the Philippines were completely destroyed and left nearly 2 million people homeless. Many countries have been sending supplies out to the Philippines and helping them out. To help out, text Red Cross to 90999 to donate $10 to the Red Cross. Back to you, Frank.
Alright, so that's all for you at CNN Student News. I'm Frank Olmo at James Beals' house, and this job is terrible. I quit.